Welcome to another episode, everyone. An individual named T, a non-affiliate, was brutalized for snitching, for perceived snitching. I don't know if this individual to this day had really told or if jealousy, envy had ended him. There in the Los Angeles County Jail. And the county jail is replete with viciousness, violence, and individuals who have a proclivity to be volatile. They have no order there in the Los Angeles County Jail, really, to this day. And the deputies, even at this time, and this was in 1999, would let individuals out of their cells to run the module, run the floor, run the Los Angeles County Jail. Understand that the deputies cannot keep control. There are just a few of them there. They ruled with force at one time for this very reason, that they were outnumbered. That's a whole nother story. But there in the Los Angeles County Jail, they need inmates to run the institution, to run the facility, because they're not about to listen to the deputies. So you got to pull someone out who has rank with his gang, and this individual ends up calling shots. But sometimes the deputies will pull individuals out that the masses do not respect. And people believe that this individual is working too closely with the authorities, with the administration. It's one thing to be out of your cell, keeping things in order around the module. But it's another thing to be frolicking around with the police as if you're one of them. They're sending you on missions to take care of your people, and you are obliging. We've had individuals like this, and all of them end up being pulverized. And in this situation, T was a light-skinned dude, long hair, some sort of long ponytail, and he was a non-affiliate. However, he was out of the Los Angeles area. He knew about the culture. He knew about gangbanging. Now, some stuff that went down there in the Los Angeles County Jail to where the police decided to lock up the gang members, put us inside of our cells, the ones that were out running the modules, running the tiers, running the floor, running the Los Angeles County Jail. The police decided we'd send a message and say, we don't need you individuals. We're going to go get some trustees to run the module and lock y'all up. So they put us in the cell and brought some so-called trustees over. The trustees are the ones that wear the green suits, and the trustees work in the cafeteria. They mop and sweep the tiers, take out the trash. They cook the food, bring the food, etc. But within the module, again, we have members that are out running around. A trustee can run nothing inside of a module. You just bring the food and get out of here. But now the police have decided that they're going to bring the trustee to run the module, to run these Crips and Bloods who are uncouth and don't like taking direction from anyone. So they bring T over, and T is working out okay for a while. Now, we still want to come out of our cells and want to continue to run the module, but we're not about to bend to the police. So we're like, okay, we're going ourselves. Let's see if y'all can run this shit without us. Y'all cannot run it without us. Y'all about to find that out the hard way. So we locked it up. Cool. They bring T, and as far as they're concerned, they're going to have T running the module. But T is a non-affiliate. He doesn't gangbang. This is not about to work out. So T is running the tiers for a couple of days, and everything is going okay. He's introducing himself to the community, to the brothers that are there. We are introducing ourselves back, and we letting him know what the situation is, that you're just being used as a pawn. They brought you over to try to run the module because we sat down on them. We locked it up, and we said, we ain't coming back out. Let's see y'all do it. So they went and got you. You cool, you pass out our food, this and that, but you're not a shot caller. Don't even Don't listen to the police. Don't try that. You can't tell members anything. So T understands this, and he seems to be a cool brother. He's about 35 years old. He seems to be educated. I had a couple of conversations with him. You hear him on the chair talking, and he seems intelligent. And he's not looking for any trouble. But then the rumors began that T was working too closely with the deputies, that he was a plant, that they had brought him over to get information and transfer it back to them. And people began to believe this because one day there was a fight right there on the tier or inside of a cell. And T was on the tier when the fight went down. Now, fights, stabbings, everything happened literally every day in the Los Angeles County Jail. So you hear fights down there, somebody fighting down the tier, you hear people talking, whatever, okay. And you're going back to your phone call. It's all day, every day. But T, he hasn't been over here in this sort of module. So he hasn't seen it. He's been in a trustee dorm. There ain't no damn fighting going down up in there. He hasn't been. It's like being on a level 1 yard. That's where T was at. Now he's over here on a level 4. Because now he's over here in this high-powered module with these high-powered individuals. There's a lot of violence going down, and he's unaccustomed to this. So when the individuals are down there on the tier, inside of their cell squabbling, T leaves out of the tier, he leaves, and about, a minute later, the police come down the tier and go straight to the cell where the individuals were fighting. And the police asked them, who was fighting? Which one of y'all was fighting? Like, ain't nobody in here to fight. Now, the police, typically, they don't care about a fight. They see this all day, every day. They don't care who's in there fighting, but they're clamping down on us because they're upset that they locked us in our cell, and now we decided to stay in our cell and tell them, y'all run this shit yourself. So since they run it themselves, they said, okay, we finna be tripping off of fights and everything. So they come down there, cuff it up. Who was down here fighting? But the police were not on the tier when the fight had transpired. And even if they heard it, which is possible, they heard it way up there in their office or whatever. How did you come? It's 12, 13 cells on the tier. Open bar cells. How did you come down to this specific cell and say that somebody in here was fighting? So people are surmising that T then went and dropped a dime. He went and said something as petty to the police as they're down there fighting. Like, for real? And told them what cell that the individuals were in. This is what people are believing because no one can understand how the police came right to these individual cells, telling them somebody in here was fighting. There's no way for them to really know that. It can be conjecture on their part. They can guess the police, it was around this area. But for them to come right to it just didn't sit right with anyone. So T was confronted later on that day. He was hey bro, did you happen to go back and say something to the police about the fight that was going on down here? He like, hell no. Woo, I'll never do nothing like that. Like, man, how did they know to come right to this cell? Like, I don't know, man. When I walked out, the police was saying, oh, it sounded like somebody down there fighting, and then they ran down there. That's all I know. But everybody was calculating the time that he had left, how long it took the police to come back in there, and people are just believing, but they have no proof that he said something. I don't know myself. It does seem suspicious that they came right to that cell, but there's no proof that he said anything. So we carry on with the program as usual. When he's confronted, of course, he's not going to say, yeah, I told the police. He's going to say no. He's going to deny it, which he did. And with no proof, we must just carry on. But then individual cells start getting hit that were making alcohol. And T used to drink alcohol. So he knew where the alcohol was coming from. What cell really made the finest alcohol there on the tier. and he was always there getting it. But then the police start hitting this particular cell. Again, they normally don't trip off of alcohol stuff. They don't care. But they're trying to send a message. They're trying to mess with us. And so now they hit this one individual cell who's always selling alcohol on the tier. And once again, people are speculating that T is the culprit. He's behind this. But once again, there's no proof. So finally, the brothers got together and just said, okay, we have no proof that T is snitching, even though we believe he's complicit. We believe that he is snitching, but we cannot prove it at this juncture. So we're just going to tell T to get the hell out of here and not come back. The police don't run nothing up in here. They handpicked you to come in here and run this module, whatever. We let you hang around for a few days. Now we finna show the police that we running shit. We're going to determine who calls the shot for us, who moves for us around here and who doesn't. We're going to pick that individual, not the police. So we called T down a tier and told him, bro, nothing against you. We think you snitching. We think you mess with the police too much, if we're being honest, but we can't prove it. So we're not going to do anything to you physically because we can't prove it. However, we do have to live here. And so just the fact that we have this suspicion, we don't want you around here anymore. So tomorrow, when they call you for work, don't come back. Because he lives in another dorm. He lives in the trustee dorm on the 9,000 floor somewhere. 9,500, they got all trustees in that dorm. They get all these perks and all this. And then they dispense out to parts in the county jail to go work throughout the day. This module, that module, visiting area, etc. But they're all really concentrated in this one dorm, all of these trustees. So we're just telling T, go on back to your dorm up there on the 9,000 floor and don't come back. When they call you for work tomorrow, do not come back to this module, bro. In fact, send word up there. Can't no trustee come down here no more. No trustee is coming on the 3,000 floor. We run this shit. No trustee that's black is going to be able to come down here. Handpicked by the police. We'll tell the police who we want out to work. That's it. Anybody come down here, they're going to get crashed, bro. Don't come down here trying to work. Because we were getting to feel like y'all working with the police. We standing up against the police. So now they just go get y'all to come over here and work because we're not working. Nah, bro. We making a stand. So we finally said, man, ain't nobody working. Don't come back. So T, he like, bro, I'm not a snitch. You know what I'm saying? And I can't lose my job, he says. You know, now the trustees, I guess they get a little time off when they do the little work around the county jail. So he's saying, man, I'm about to go home. And if I don't come to work, they can add, 15, 20 days to my sentence that I'm getting time off for having this job. They're going to put that back on, bro. I'll be home soon. I'm not snitching. Y'all just leave me alone. Just let me come do my job. I'm like, nah, bro. We understand. There are ways that T could have got around that without snitching, without telling the police I have a problem with individuals in this module. I can't come back to this module. He could have just got another job. It's that simple for them. But I don't know. Call it what you want. He's staying down. He wants to stay down. Ain't nobody finna run me off. I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm not a snitch. I'm trying to go home. I'm coming back to work, man. So he basically like, man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. If they try to force me to come back to work, I'm gonna have to be here. So we told him then in no uncertain terms so that he was cleared. If you come back to this module, gonna split your head open, bro. Don't come back. Now we asked you nicely. You talking about the police, that's the problem. The police, you worried about them. Don't come back here, bro. But he came back. The next day, he came back to work. So the decision had already been made the day before. If he comes back to work, we crashing him. That's it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. So when he come back to work, ain't nobody saying anything to him. So he come down the tier and he's stopping at certain cells that he know are the heavy hitters in the module. You're like, bro, I should better, be done with this job in 4 or 5 days. Y'all just give me a few more days. They forced me to come to work today. I know y'all don't want me here. I wasn't trying to be here, but they forced me to come to work. And people in their cells just looking at them. Ain't nobody conversing with them. Ain't nobody communicating with them. Nobody saying anything. He's trying to explain himself basically on a tier to everyone. But no one wants to hear it. We told you not to come back. That's it. So at that point, I think he gets it. This is not about to go well. They're not even saying nothing to me. And when the doors cracked later on that day, and they did, T made sure he was nowhere on the tier. But it didn't matter. They went into the day room where he was at, found him, and pulverized him, beat him. About 5, 6 blacks, bro. Indeed. They hurt T. They stomped him. They were upset because they had told him not to come back and they thought he was a snitch, but they couldn't prove it. And so they did pulverize him. He was in there knocked out, bro. I done seen so many people unconscious in there, so many people knocked out. It's a sad sight. It really is. But he didn't listen. He decided he was going to stand up and he was coming back no matter what anybody had to say. I guess was his attitude. I don't know. I can't speak for this individual. I don't know what he was thinking. But he came back and they pulverized him, bro. The police ran in there because they knew what was going on. They knew that the Bloods, and it was Bloods and Crips that attacked him. They knew that the Bloods and Crips were sending a message. There ain't no more trustees coming down here to work for y'all, thinking they working for us. Some people who y'all handpicked. If they come down here, this is what's going to happen to them. Police. So the police, they ran in the day room. They mad. Like, y'all done got our people, basically. Y'all done attacked T, the dude that we handpicked to come down here and run them out. It's a fight, really, with the police. It's a clash with them. It's an ideological clash with the police. We have one ideology, they have another. T was really just a casualty, as far as I'm concerned, because no one, that's why I said from the beginning, to this day, I don't know if he snitched or not. I don't know. It did seem suspicious that the police ran down the tier and went straight to the cell where the individuals were fighting, that they keep hitting the cell where this alcohol is being manufactured. But that's not proof. So I don't know. But they didn't jump on him for that. They didn't jump on him for that. They didn't say, you know what, this dude's snitching. We finna get him for that. They didn't get him for snitching. They just told him, don't come back. Don't come back up in here. That's it. And when he came back, that was the reason that he was brutalized. At least that was the reason that was put out. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Was T a snitch? Were the brothers wrong for pulverizing him and getting him out of the module without proof of him snitching? Even though they felt like their stuff, their livelihood was in jeopardy with this individual being around, even without proof. Let me know. And y'all stay free. And when I say stay free, I'm not just talking about stay free of prison. I want you brothers to stay free of self-doubt, self-hatred. Stay free of alcohol and tobacco. Stay free of toxic people and people who don't have your best interests at heart. Stay free from disruptiveness. Stay free from self-loathing. Stay free from non-determination. Stay free from drugs. That's what I mean when I say stay free. Stay free from all vices. Everything that hinders you and hinders your accomplishments, that puts an obstacle in your way, stay free of it. Stay free, people.